to my knees in the holy of holies, this moment of intimacy. See into me, help me to change, let me be clean with trembling lips and hands. I can barely stand because of the weight of your glory, the weight of your glory.
Yeah. open up heaven. Open up heaven. That is our desire tonight. That is our desire this year. Good evening, everyone. And welcome to this week's episode, the first episode of the year 2021. Good evening. Welcome to Faith Matters with me, Mnena. Happy New Year to everyone. Oh my goodness, thank you all so much. Those of you who are joining through Facebook. I see Sister Salma there. Good evening. Onaije, good evening. Laurel, good evening. Oh my gosh, there's my brother from Nigeria, Ogala. Thank you so much for joining in tonight. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I hope everyone's doing well. Thank you to family and friends who are listening on our website, newseasonfm.com. I appreciate you guys. Those who are listening on new 89.1 on our FM dial, thank you all so much for tuning in. It's a brand new year, guys. It's a brand new year. We're only 4 days. Our year is 4 days old. 2021. Oh my goodness. Who would have thought? I mean, we all felt as if 2020 was never going to come to an end, but here we are. We made it. We made it to 2021, and it's all because of God's grace. That's all I can say. He's been amazing, and we're thankful and grateful. Onaije, yes, I had a great Thanksgiving and Christmas. I hope you did as well, and I hope your year is off to a great start. So happy New Year again! Happy New Year again! It's an honor to come on. And just be with you tonight on this first Monday of the year, first Monday of 2020. It is such an honor. It's a blessing, as always, to come on and just share the time with you guys. As you all know, Faith Matters is a platform where, we just talk about, or I talk mostly about, I reflect on our faith walk, our Christian walk, journey on this life, on this path, because many times I think when people hear, oh, we're Christians or Christianity and we're saved and all of that, they just feel it's a walk in the park. But it is not. It's not a walk in the park. It's a daily, there are challenges that come with this walk, with the challenges that we face daily on this journey. And so I just come on here sometimes to vent and reflect on just faith walk. So faith matters, just how we're living our daily lives, how are we being Christ's hands and feet, and just being his light shining brightly for others to see in every in every place we find ourselves, at our jobs, at schools, wherever we're at, how are we being that light shining brightly for others to see, being that beacon of hope for others as well. So again, Happy New Year. I hope your year is off to a great start. I can say that mine has definitely been off to a great start. God has been faithful. He is just an amazing God. You guys know I don't even need to tell you. Like, sometimes words can't express how grateful we are, or how grateful, when you have that feeling, that joy inside of you where you can't even just, you can't express it in words. But yeah, God is all that. That's all I can say. Hi Shayna, thank you so much for joining in tonight. So welcome on board, and I'm going to be sharing tonight, or just reflecting on a few, sort of like free ranging quite a bit tonight. And I want to send a shout out and call a few family friends out here. A shout out to Yessie and Pastor Steve out there tonight, because they were teasing me before I came on. Or no, probably I wouldn't say they. Pastor Steve was teasing me on the last show that I'm more like it's always like a Zen thing with me on my show, that I tend to put I tend to put them to sleep. So I'm trying not to put you guys to sleep. So stay awake and be with me tonight. But anyways, sending a shout out to Yessie and Pastor Steve out there. I love you guys. And I don't want you to tease me after this. So hopefully. Oh my word. So anyways, thank you guys so much again. It is Monday, the 4th, January 4th. Monday, January 4th. And you guys know, if this is the first time coming on, usually I talk about holidays and things like that. Oh yeah, Yessie, I see that. Ha ha ha. Anyways, don't distract me, Yessie. Let's get to the program. So I talk about holidays. I talk a lot about weird holidays and things like that on the show. Just sometimes they're not weird, but just holidays that people don't really know about. So I just think it's fun to throw it out there. So for today, and I think it's appropriate. Today is, thank God it's Monday. So today, Monday the 4th. Usually the first Monday of the year is tagged, thank God it's Monday, which, I guess it's not, I wouldn't say thank God. The whole idea behind that is say, oh yeah, because we've had like this whole holiday, this long with time away from work. Well, most people, time away from work and school, and now it's Monday, we're getting back to work again, like, oh my gosh, I have to go back to work. It's like back to reality, right? So it's the whole idea of, hi Sister Claudette, thank you for joining in tonight. So the whole idea of thank God it's Monday, I think this is like a little bit of an irony there, but oh wells. Thank God it's Monday. I felt that way a bit today, because I was the kids were getting ready for school. I was like, oh gosh, so we have to go through the whole routine again. I'm like, no, I'm really dreading this whole Monday thing. So, but yeah, thank God it's Monday today. It's also World Braille Day. It is Free Flower Basket Day and National Spaghetti Day today. So for those of you who like spaghetti, I'm not too big on spaghetti, but it's National Spaghetti Day. Tuesday, tomorrow, is bird day. For all those bird lovers, I'm not a bird person, but oh well, if you're into birds, tomorrow is bird day. And it's also Screenwriters Day tomorrow. Wednesday is National Take Down Your Christmas Tree Day. So for those of you who still have, I still have my Christmas tree up, so I guess I have to take it down on Wednesday. So Wednesday is National Take Down Your Christmas Tree Day. It's also Technology Day. Just bring more awareness to technology. And for those of us who are technologically challenged, it's a day for us to, kind of like get our hands and feet wet a bit in the whole arena of trying to get things done technologically. Yeah, believe it or not, I'm not tech savvy at all. It is also World Day for War Orphans. World Day for War Orphans on Wednesday. So those are the holidays. Those are the holidays that I have. I think for me, the one for me, or the ones for me, would be the World Day for War Orphans. I think that's what I'm going to run with for the rest of the week. Thank God it's Monday. I just dragged through it already. So I mean, Monday's already over. Well, almost over, but I kind of dragged through it already. So I still thank God that it was Monday, because it is the first Monday of the year, and it was really awesome. So we're off to, a new year. The new year is off, and like I said, off to a great start. And most times, and a lot of people, we make resolutions. We're thinking, hey, it's a new year. What am I going to do? I'm going to start something new. I'm going to do something differently, and things like that. But I don't really make resolutions. I'm not big on them, because I just feel like I don't think I should wait for the year to start to make resolutions or to work on something. Because a lot of times it's always like, oh, I'm going to be better. I want to better myself. I want to eat right. I want to, exercise more. Those are just a few, of the things that people resolved to do in the new year. I'm gonna stop smoking. I'm going to, and things like that. So there's so many things that they have in mind to give up or to do or to improve upon. And I found out like a while back because I used to be so big on, resolutions, and they never really worked for me because I would start, and if I was lucky, I would get through like the first week, or let me say the second week. But then after that, I was like, okay, I'm done. I can't anymore. And so I think that's the story for a lot of people. Like we say we're going to do this, and then we tend not to follow through. And it's for no fault of ours, I guess. It's just, if for some people it works. I'm pretty sure it works for some people, but it doesn't work for a lot of people. So what I decided to do, I just said to myself, I was like, you know what, it really doesn't make any sense for me to wait till the start of the year to start something new or to better myself or improve upon certain habits or change certain behaviors or habits when I can just start today, like start right now. And I think Yessie and I had spoken about it on her last show. It's like we set goals. Like we need to set goals. Like goals should be something that we have constantly to look forward to achieve in everything that we do in our lives. But in order to achieve those, don't look at them as don't try to take like the big chunk. Like just take little baby steps to achieving those. And I found that's really been helpful for me. To just make little baby steps towards what my goal is, what I hope to accomplish at the end of whatever timeline I give myself, and so I just want to encourage you, and also encourage myself tonight, to just to recognize that it's okay to take those baby steps. Don't beat yourself up and go into making like big resolutions. And again, if you falter, if you don't see them through, don't be like, oh my gosh, I failed. No, just take those baby steps, those little steps to making that to achieving that goal, that aim that you set for yourself. So I'm really excited for what the year holds, and I think it's always fun. It's always interesting at the start of the year when we all have this hopes and aspirations and dreams, and like we set out. I don't know about you guys, but for me, I would literally like just sit down like, okay, I want this, not resolutions, but just like goals for the year, what I hope to accomplish at some point in the year. And it was really nice. It was interesting to actually sit down over the weekend and just go over my notes and just look at them. And I think for me this year, one of the things that I'm really planning on doing is finding an accountability partner, someone to hold me accountable in order to achieve to make sure that I'm working towards achieving those goals, because I tend to sort of get lost in my own head and get lost in the things that I put down to do, and I end up not really doing what I want to do. And so one of the goals for me this year is just getting that accountability partner, that person, that someone who would like, okay, have you done this? You're supposed to do this. Have you done this? Let's go. So getting that person who would just whoop me in line. And for doing that. So I want to encourage you tonight that if you haven't made a list, it's really important to just make, again, these aren't resolutions, but if you I hope you've made like a list, or, written down dreams or hopes or aspirations, your target goal for this year. Because it's really important to do that at the onset. So that way you have something to go back to refer to, and possibly just check off and say, hey, this is done, this is done, this is done. And so I think it's really important that we do that. So hopefully, if you haven't done so, I'd like to encourage you tonight to just start and do that. So again, 2021, we're really looking forward to it and looking forward to the blessings and the plans, because I'm really excited about what it holds for me. And I'm so thankful and grateful that we had that fast, that 21 day of fasting and prayer that we had leading to the end of the year, and just starting off the year in such a manner, ending the year and starting the year. The fact that we ended the year with the fasting and the prayer was, it was just a different dynamic. It just started, the year started off for me like just more cheery than usual. More cheery than usual, more, because it was almost as if, we set the pace. I'd already set okay, this is what's going to happen. This is what we're hoping to achieve in the new year. And I'm like, oh gosh, I'm so excited about, what's going to happen, what's coming next in this season, because we've already established what we want, or what we're expecting for this year. So that I think that was really amazing that we did that leading up to the end of the year, just to set us up for this new year. So, and I'm gonna to take us in, Tasha Cobb's gonna take us in to put a praise on it. So whatever it is that you're thinking of, you're hoping on, that you're claiming, in this year, I would like to encourage you right now tonight to just put a claim on it, and you claim that by putting a praise on it, because you know that God has, you believe that God has it for you, and He's going to do it for you. So let's go ahead and put a praise on the blessings that you're calling over yourself, that you're speaking over yourself, over your family, all those hopes and aspirations that
in this room with my name on it. There's a healing in this room, and it's here for you. Oh, there's a breakthrough in this room. It's got my name on it. So I'm gonna put a praise on it. I'm gonna put a praise on it. Somebody put a praise on it. There's a miracle in this room. We toss your name on it. You ought to put your name in the atmosphere. Come on. There's a healing in this room. And it's here for me. There's a breakthrough in this room. And it's got my name on it. So I'm gonna put a praise on it. Somebody put a praise on it. Can you help me put a praise on it? Somebody put a praise on it. Let's go. I dare somebody to release some praise in this room. I declare that wherever you are, miracles are breaking off in your house. You ought to declare there's a miracle in this room, and it's got my name on it. Let's go.
There's a miracle in this room with my name on it.
There's a healing.
There's a healing in this room, and it's here for me.
Say there's a breakthrough in this
There's a
room.
breakthrough in this room with my name on it.
So what you gonna do?
So I'm gonna put a praise on it.
Go. I'm gonna put a praise.
I'm gonna put a praise on it.
Y'all got it. There's a miracle in this room.
With my name on it.
Say there's a healing in this room.
There's a healing in
You better put a praise on your breakthrough in 2021. Put a praise on your blessings in 2021. This is how you need to do. Just put a praise on it. Just declare the praises and the blessings over your life, over yourself, your family in 2021, and just start putting a praise on it right now. So put a praise on your blessing. Put a praise on your blessing in 2021. 2021, put a praise on your blessing. Whatever the Lord has for you, just start claiming it now and put a praise on it. Thank Him for it. Claim it. You have a blessing. The blessing has your name on it. Call your name on your blessing, whatever it is that you're hoping for in this year. Just call it out, put a praise on it, put a praise on it right now, because God has so much for you. If you would only believe, if you'd only trust, and just praise and claim it at the start of the year. So I'm hoping that would encourage you to just really put a praise on your blessing in this year. Put a praise on your blessing and go out there and just get everything and claim everything that God has for you. So yes, I'm definitely looking forward to an amazing 2021, a year filled with God's blessings, God's unimaginable favors and breakthroughs, coming our way. So we just definitely put a praise on it tonight. We're going to put a praise on it tonight. So looking forward to the year, here are just a few tips that I have for this year. These are tips that I have laid out for myself and things that I've said to myself. I give myself a talking to. And I said, this year, this is what I'm hoping to do. This is what I'm going to be doing, working on doing this year. I am not going to be afraid to go for that which is in my heart, for that which God has placed in my heart. I am not going to be afraid. I'm not going to let fear rule me. I'm not going to let fear dictate what I do or what I don't do in terms of what the Lord has placed in my heart and what my purpose is. And so for me, and I'm hoping, this will encourage you too, if you're that person who, like me, is, most times in so many ways fearful of taking that step, fearful of making that move, fearful of, jumping on that idea that you have. I want to encourage you that in this year, just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Do not be fearful. Don't let fear hold you down. Don't let fear hold you back. I just want to invite you to come on this journey with me to defeat fear. So it's my goal. It's my aim. It's my purpose. I'm hoping to defeat fear this year. I'm not going to let fear come my way. How many times have you said to yourself, I've said to myself, again, this is me talking to myself, there's so many times that I'm like, oh gosh, I want to do this, but hey, you know what? Let me wait till tomorrow. And tomorrow comes and I'm like, I'll wait till tomorrow. And we all know that tomorrow never comes, because when tomorrow comes, it's always like, okay, tomorrow. And this is what I deal with. This is what I'm not just like pulling it out from the air, but it's a struggle that I have, and a lot of times, it's like the procrastination, okay, I'm going to do it tomorrow, I'm going to do it next week, or I'll do it later. underneath that procrastination is fear. Fear is an underlying factor in that. And that's what I came to realize, that underneath all of that, underneath all of the excuses, like, oh, I'm going to do this later, I'm going to do this tomorrow, I'll do it another time, or this isn't the right time to do it, is underneath all of that is fear. So fear is one of the major tactics that the enemy uses to try to come at us, at God's children. It's what he uses against us, because he knows that when he plants that fear, that seed of fear in us, then he literally, has finished us. He has demolished us. He can't, because we're crippled. We can't do anything when we're fearful, when we're just, when we don't have that confidence that we can do it. And so, I want to encourage us tonight. One of my favorite verses is 2 Timothy 1:7, and that says, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. So I'm going to tarry there a little bit on sound mind for a minute. What does sound mind mean? What does having a sound mind mean? So I was like, okay, I'm going to just Google that and see what is sound mind. So Google tells me, or the dictionary, let me just say the dictionary says, someone who is of a sound mind is someone who has the mental capacity to understand what is going on around them and make important decisions for themselves and their families. That's what having a sound mind means. So when you say someone has a sound mind, it means they have the capability, they have the capacity, the mental capacity to understand what is going on around them and to make important decisions concerning themselves and the people around them. So this scripture reminds us that God has endowed us with a spirit of a sound mind and not fear. So tap into the soundness of your mind, if you will, if I could say that. Tap into the soundness of your mind, especially when those trials come, especially when the enemy comes at you with those doubts, with those, oh, you can't do this, you're not good enough to do this. When fear tries to take over, when the oppositions threaten your effort. When you feel crippled, like, I can't do this, I can't go on, I'm not going to be able to go on, I'm not going to be able to do what, the Lord has placed in my heart to do. When you feel that, hold on to 2 Timothy 1:7. Because if there's any scripture that you should memorize when fear threatens to take you down, it should be that one. 2 Timothy 1:7. He has not given you a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. Once you get that into your core, once you get that right into it, like it's ingrained right there, in your heart, everywhere, in your sleep. I mean, you should memorize it to the point where even in your sleep, you're dreaming about, if you wake up, oh God, 2 Timothy 1:7, he has not given me a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of sound mind. And so when that comes at you, when those thoughts come your way, you're like, no, he hasn't given me a spirit of fear. He has not given me a spirit of fear. And what the enemy is doing to me right now is just trying to make me fearful. So that's a scripture that we need to memorize, that I think we should memorize and use. We should have that as one of our, it should be in our we should be able to just pull it out at any time. So know who you are. That's another tip for this year. And you guys know, I sound like a broken record at this point. But know who you are. Know who you are in God. And I say this all the time. It's extremely important to know who you are. Because in order to operate fully in your gifting, in order to operate fully or walk in your purpose, in order to do what you've been created to do, you need to understand and you need to know who you are. And that's your identity in Christ. Because when you do know that, when you know who you are in Christ and you're confident in that identity, you begin to operate just differently. You begin to soar. You begin to, you overcome obstacles that, roadblocks that the enemy lays before you, those distractions that come along the way. When you know who you are and whose you are, know your identity, be confident in your identity. And John 1:12 says, "Yet to all who did receive him, to those who believed in his name, he gave the right to become children of God." That's another scripture to hold on to remind us that we are children of God. That's your identity. You are created in the image and likeness of God. So you know that you are loved. You know that you are beautiful. You know that you're wonderfully, fearfully, and wonderfully made. And that's Psalm 139 tells us that. It says, "I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made." I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You need to know who you are. You need to know whose you are. You need to know what you're made of, what stuff you're made of, because once you realize this, then you're able to take on anything. You're able to recognize when something that's not of Christ, something that's foreign to what you know, comes your way. Be like, oh no, that's not true. When the enemy throws, doubts your way, you're like, no, but, my God tells me differently, and I'm going to listen to what the Lord says and not what you tell me. For his word tells me that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. So we need to realize that we need to know. It's so important. I can't stress that enough, because I think we're living in a time today where so many of us are, suffering from, we're having an identity crisis. We don't know who we are anymore. Like, we don't know. We're just going about aimlessly. We're wandering about aimlessly, not knowing who we are. We do not realize who we are and the power that we have as children of God. We don't know that. And that's why so many times, we can't achieve what we're made to achieve, what we can achieve. We can't, because we don't know that. And once you don't know that, then there's no way you'd be able to do anything, because you don't recognize and you don't know what's in you. You don't know what you're capable of, because you don't know who you are. So it's really important. In fact, I think that should be the basic, that should be the first step. That should be the core. First off, you know who you are. So once you know who you are, then, you can start to fight those things. You can start to, speak to the fear when it comes your way. Be like, no, I am not, he hasn't given me a spirit of fear. And that comes from knowing who you are, because once you know who you are, you get in the word, and you get in the word, the word tells you, and you start to feed on the word, and you start to grow in the word. And before you know it, you're speaking the word, and you're countering everything that the enemy is throwing at you, and saying, hey, you're a liar. Everything you're saying is not true, because his word tells me this. It is written, it is written, it is written. So that's really important, that we know who we are. It's really, really, it's extremely important. I can't stress that enough. And it's not just for our young people that, I think as adults as well, like older people too, and Christians, as well. We need to realize who we are. Because sometimes we're like, just, we're just going through the motions. We're just going through, okay, we go to church and that's it. We just, I go to church. It's Sunday. I'm done with church, and that's it. Bye. But do you really know who you are? Are you really having that relationship with God outside of church, which is what I talk about, how are you being his hands and feet? How are you being that light and shining brightly for others to see? In everything that you do, in the people that you come in contact with? Are you being that gospel for them? Because sometimes you might not get that chance to really, speak a word to someone. You might not get that chance to share scripture. You might not get a chance to say, hey, but the way you carry yourself, the way you leave, the way you are will tell a lot. That sometimes that's the only gospel you can preach. Just by the way you live, the way you carry on at your job. Are you that light in that place of work? Are you shining brightly for others to see? Are you being a beacon of hope? And there's so many ways I talk about it, so many ways that we can do this. There's so many ways, and sometimes it's just just doing things differently. If everyone's going the wrong way, it doesn't mean you should follow them and go the wrong way. No, you should be that one who says, okay, no, this is wrong. And you stand out. Don't follow the crowd. Do not follow the crowd. And that's another thing for this year. Because I think a lot of times we want to belong. We feel like, we need to belong. We need to have friends. Again, this is not specifically for young people, because you'll be surprised the amount of older people who have this need to feel a part of something, like have this clan or have this, they want to be in a group. So it's not just our young people that deal with this. Even older people do, because they feel like they need to belong. They feel they want to be, they feel the need to be accepted by certain groups, and so they do things that are contrary to, their beliefs. But again, it all boils down to not knowing who you are. Because if you know who you are, you know that you're enough. And you know that if the world turns upside down, or if the whole world is against you, you still have Christ. The Spirit is with you. So you really don't need to hang around people who do not align with your core values, who do not align with your beliefs. You really don't need that. And also, if you know who you are, then you would recognize that. So I'm hoping that the scales will fall off our eyes this year to actually just really see and understand that we do not need to please other people. We do not need to live our lives in a way that is not pleasing or in line with God's plan and purpose for us, of who He created us to be. So do you know who you are? So just a reminder for us tonight. Do you know who you are? I know who I am. So that's a question for you. Who are you?
All over the world, lift up your voice. Do you know who you are? Shout in love, declare it. Believers anthem. Come on, let's go. We are a chosen generation. We've been called for to show His excellence. All I require for life, God has given me, and I know who I am. We are a chosen generation. We've been called for to show His excellence. All I require for life, God has given me, for I know who I am. I know who God says I am, what He says I am, where He says I'm at. I know who I am. I know who God says I am, what He says I am, where He says I'm at. I know who I am. I'm working in power, I'm working miracles, I live a life of favor. For I know who I am. I'm working in power, I'm working miracles, I live a life of favor. For I know who I am. Hey. Hey. We are a chosen generation. We've been called for to show His excellence. All I require for life, God has given me, and I know who I am. We are a chosen generation. We've been called for to show His excellence. All
require for life. God has given me. I know who I am. I know who God says I am. What He says I am. Where He says I'm at. I know who I am. I know who God says I am. What He says I am. Where He says I'm at. I know who I am. I'm walking in power. I'm walking miracles. I live a life of favor. For I know who I am. I'm walking in power. I walk in miracles. I live a life of favor. For I know who I am. Everybody shout I know who I am. Lift your voice, shout I know who I am. Wave your hands, shout I know who I am. What are you? I am holy. Come on. I am righteous. I'm walking in power. I walk in miracles. I live a life of favor. For I know who I am. I'm walking in power. I walk in miracles. I live a life of favor. For I know who I am. Take a look at me, I'm a wonder. It doesn't matter what you see now. Can you see His glory? For I know who I am. Take a look at me, I'm a wonder. It doesn't matter what you see now. Can you see His glory? For I know who I am. Say I know who I am. Lift your voice, shout I know who I am. How many of you know who you are? Come on.
Do you know who you are? Do you know who you are? It is my hope that you know who you are. You know who you are. You know that you are a child of God. You are created in His image and likeness. That you are fearfully and wonderfully made. That you are unique. That you are loved. There is none like you. That God thinks that you're a big deal. And because He thinks you're a big deal, He thinks and He knows and He knew that you are worth dying for. You know, so I hope you know that. And that's the hope and prayer tonight, that we recognize that this year. We have to realize that, because in order to pull through, in order to come out victorious at the end of the year, at the end of 2021, and achieve everything that He has for us, that achieve and walk in our purpose, we have to know who we are, because that's how we'll be able to fight the enemy with all the daggers and arrows and everything that he throws at us, because we're going to be like, we know ourselves, we know who we are, we know the weapons that we have, we know the stuff that we're made of, and nothing that you throw at us, devil, is going to shake us, because we know who we are. So that's my prayer tonight, that you really do know and claim back your identity, and just really walk in confidence in who you are, in the knowledge of your person, your being as a child of God. Okay, so also if a lot of times we've had like things that we wanted to do and we left off, you know, like we started, again, going back to the whole fear, tying it in here with the fear and not accomplishing or finishing things that we started for several reasons, like, oh, I can't do this, I'm not good enough to do it, or I don't have the resources to do it, and so on and so forth. But it's time, I believe that this year is time to just rebuild and restore and just start again. You know, continue that which you had started. I don't know, maybe you had like you had a plan, you had started like a business, you know, you had created a business plan, and you just shoved it under the table like you did, and you just felt you couldn't go ahead and do it. I would say this is a time to rebuild, to restore, to just start again. Like, just go back to it, dust off the shelf, dust off whatever idea that you have that you've placed on the shelf, and just dust it off and start. Just start. That's all I'm going to say. Just start building. Just start building. Start building, because if it's in your heart and if he has placed it there in your heart, you need to do it. And don't listen to the naysayers, because there's going to be a ton of naysayers. There's going to be a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of oppositions that will come your way. People will be like, oh, you can't do it. You shouldn't do that. Why do you think? Who do you think you are? Why do you think you're capable of doing that? Just shut your ears, to what the naysayers say. Because sometimes, it's because people are afraid of you, are afraid of what you're capable of. And that's why they tend to discourage you or say things to you in a way that would make you fearful and not go on and do it. And a lot of times it's not really jealousy per se, but the jealousy and the being afraid is tied in there. But that's going to be like another topic for another day that we'll definitely get into. But just to encourage you that whatever plan, whatever idea that you had, that you just laid it off and put it off and say, I can't do it. I don't think I'm able to do it. I don't have the resources. I don't have this. I don't have the help. I don't have the knowledge to do it. I don't have the capability to do it. Whatever it is, just dust it off and just do it. Just take that very first step. Just take that first step. Put your foot in the water and see what God will do. So that would be my encouragement for you tonight, to just put your foot in the water and see what God will do. Just keep working on that dream, keep working on that idea, keep working on that purpose that you have, or that thing that God has laid on your heart. Sometimes it could have, you might have forgotten about it for years. You might have started it last year, and your excuse would have been, oh, COVID hit, and nothing's gone wrong. 2020 has been a year from hell and things like that. But I would just like to encourage you, like, it's a fresh start for you now. Just go back to it, pull it out, and visit it again. Because you can do it. You can do it because you can do it because you are a child of God. And he has not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound mind. And with all of that, you can do it. With his spirit leading you, you can definitely do it. So speak affirmations. Speak positive, speak blessings over your life, over your family, over your children. Just keep speaking blessings over yourself, over your situation this year. Don't be always dragging and negative. Oh, nothing's going right. Oh, here we go again. This is not happening. It's the start of the year, and here we're at it again. It's always like this for me, and never. No. You need to change that mindset. You have to start speaking blessings over your life. Speak blessing over your family, over your situation. Because what you say, there's power in the tongue. So what you speak out, what you speak into the atmosphere, what you release into the atmosphere is what will happen. So be positive. Be positive, trust in the Lord, and speak blessings over your lives, over your families. And to take us out tonight, I really, this is one of my favorite songs, and I'm going to share that with you. It's a blessing for all of us, and I really do hope that you're able to take away just a few things from tonight, my sharings with you tonight. The major one for me would be, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid and know who you are, because once you know who you are, then you can fight that fear when it comes. So know who you are, be grounded in your identity, have that confidence in yourself as a child of God, and just go get it. So I want to thank you all for joining in tonight. I thank you all, Sister Claudette. I thank you, Ogala from Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining in. Sister Salma, Sister Jasmine, Onaije. I can't really see everyone right now, but I promise I'm going to acknowledge at the end of the show. But thank you all so much for being so faithful and so generous with your support to this station, because we're a listener-supported station. So I want to just thank you all for that. for being that pillar of support for us time and time again. Don't forget to join Pastor Steve tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. and for another, filled day, filled with the Spirit, morning filled with the Spirit. Join Yessie on Thursday for her show, Yes with Yessie. It's going to be an amazing show as well. So thank you all so much. If you have a business that you would like to advertise, please don't hesitate. Reach out to us. The number to call is 954-533-8187. That's 954-533-8187. You can send us an email at seasonfmradio@gmail.com. That's seasonfmradio@gmail.com. We have several packages that will cater to anyone. So just reach out to us and let us know, how we can help you out in terms of that. So thank you all so much for coming on tonight. To our family who are listening at 89.1, I appreciate all of you, and I will see you all next week, Monday, God's willing. So you guys enjoy the rest of your week and just make it a wonderful, wonderful start to the year. Just continue to speak blessings over your lives today and always. Have a good one.